Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're super excited to have you joining us on a brisk morning here in Charlottesville, Virginia.
And I'm glad you told them where you were, Alex, because they probably said, "Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? I haven't seen him in a month. What the hell?" Yeah, if there's any new viewers in the last month, they're like, "Man, there's another one." I thought it was just that handsome Michael and Xavier, but now there's this other brother that's like, ah. But no, we're excited to see everyone this morning, and excited
to have you back. There you go.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be back. Very, very, very thrilled for it. Already got some people tuning in. Keith Smith, thanks for sharing this morning. You can always catch Keith tomorrow morning, I think, on Real Talk.
Right.
So be sure to check that out. We got a great show lined up for anyone. We're going to be joined shortly in the show by Keith Phares and Katherine Pracht Phares from Charlottesville Opera, talking about the amazing duet concert series. And there's a concert tomorrow night at 7. You'll be able to hear both of them. Later in the show, we'll be joined by Pedro Chacon and Maria Morales from StreetDog, Virginia. So we got a great show lined up for everyone. Of course, love being here on the I Love CVille Network set. We got some great partners in Emergent Financial Services, Matthias on Realty, Charlottesville Opera, Ford, Adelante. So we appreciate all our fantastic partners. I'm glad to be back on with you.
It's been some time. Yeah, it's always fun. I mean, I have fun with Michael, fun with you. Although the last times we did finance, so I think.
It's a finance. Yeah, we did have finance topic last time. It was you and I.
So he kept just picking my brain. It's like, wow, that brain's getting shallow here.
Your brain needed Xavier's brain needed a little break, so we said, let's talk some music.
There you are. I love that.
Let's talk some hot dogs. So let's talk some entrepreneurship. So we love all those things. So we get to give Xavier a little break from the finance topic. Nicholas Urpí tuning in this morning. Carolina Galledo from Carolina Galledo's her beauty salon is this watcher this morning. Muchísimas gracias, Carolina. Always love our fantastic viewers, and she's been on before, of course.
That's right, I remember.
Great business, great entrepreneur herself.
Yep.
In the community. So
Prose,
we always
right?
appreciate it. I think she's in Prose. So be sure to check her out as well. Well, I don't know about you, but I am thrilled to jump in.
We also have a time limit, right?
Oh, yeah, no, we got time. Yeah, I timed it.
Make sure we got everything.
I timed it.
I timed it. Right.
So we're excited to welcome to the show this morning Keith Phares and Katherine Pracht Phares. Keith, Katie, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having us.
This is great.
I appreciate it. I was very excited when Nick sent me the lineup. I haven't had a chance to hear you sing, I think, Katie, but I know, Keith, I had gone to the Guys and Dolls a few years ago at Charlottesville Opera, and that was a lot of fun. Hearing you sing this stuff. I always told you it was great to hear an actual singer sing the part, because I was very familiar with the movie. So, Marlon Brando kind of just talks his way through the songs. I'm like, you can actually sing the songs.
Yeah, that was the idea originally, I suspect, right?
So hearing a beautiful voice sing it is much preferable. So maybe to start off, for those who don't know you yet, tell us a little bit about yourselves, maybe how you first became interested in opera.
Well, I'm Katie Pracht Phares. I'm from Iowa originally, Davenport, Iowa, and my family, they all are very, very musical. So that's kind of how I got into music in the first place. I think I was watching Johnny Carson when I was about to go away to college, and I saw Kiri Takanawa singing an operatic piece, and I thought, oh my God, I need to do that. That's amazing. So I think I was interested in music theater first, and then that kind of changed my path toward opera. And I went to school, did my master's degree, and then became an opera singer. And I wasn't a star, so I was doing what I needed to do to make money and also be performing. And I've been doing that for the last 20-some years, and slowly growing as an opera singer too. My path went to Chicago, and then I lived in Philadelphia for 15 years, as a place to be based, to kind of go and travel to be an opera singer. So that's kind of how I got my path.
How about you, Keith?
So I grew up in a musical family. No professionals, but everybody played an instrument or sang. Music was always playing in the house, all different types of music, classical music, jazz, rock and roll. And I started on trumpet. That was sort of the family instrument with my brother and my father. And I think I got bit by the theater bug when I was in high school and playing in the pit orchestra. So what I would do is, I was really excited about this, and I would I would go out and get the recording of whatever show I knew we were going to do the next year, and I'd listen to it. We had a finished basement when I was growing up in New Jersey, by the way. And I'd be doing my homework and listening along and just listening for the trumpet part, and then I started to sing along with the recording. And there was nobody around. So I started to let loose, and I thought, well, this sounds reasonable, maybe. I don't know. And I decided I'm gonna try out for the all shore chorus. This was sort of a district chorus of high school kids, and I did it to impress these two girls that I went to school with. Thought they're really gonna like me. I scored really high, but I didn't really take it seriously. I thought, I had seen all these Suzuki kids playing violin at 4 years old, and I thought, oh no, I would have had to have started much younger. Singing is not like that. One thing led to another. We moved to South Carolina for my senior year of high school, and I came in asking, when are we going to get the pit orchestra together? And they said, well, we don't do that, but we need guys for the show. And so I auditioned for the show. They were doing South Pacific, and I got the role of Emile DeBeck, so I'm enchanted. They graved my temples. I wore my dad's blazer. It was great. Sang in straight tone. And then, I went to college. I did community theater here and there, and finally I did a production of The Secret Garden. This was in Hilton Head, South Carolina. There were opera singers in the cast, and they said, you really should take a look at this and pursue this and take voice lessons. And so my junior year of college, started taking voice lessons. Next thing I knew, I was applying to grad schools in voice. It happened really, really fast.
That's amazing.
So I do have a question. So I'm curious, right? Because Katherine, you mentioned something also. So with regard to voices, right? I mean, we know as we get older and older, right, the voice begins to decline. Is there a sense as to when your voice peaks, when it's best, at what kind of age? And maybe people may be different, right? But is there a time where you say, at whatever 20s, 30s, that's when the voice peaks, and then eventually it fades? Does that happen?
That's a really great question, and I'm actually writing a dissertation on this topic, which is, I'm sure you didn't know that.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, it depends. Usually for sopranos with lighter voices, the peak is kind of maybe mid-20s, early 30s, and then for the bigger the voices get, it's later in life that they continue to improve and try to figure out how to use their unwieldy instrument. I'm a lighter-voiced mezzo-soprano, so lyric mezzo-soprano. I would say peak is, I'm kind of hitting it now, but I would say, kind of 30s, 40s.
Okay.
And for male voices, for the TBB voices, the lower voices, that can continue to grow. Oh. So it kind of just depends on use and actually just like keeping up with it, doing some vocal exercises and stretching the instrument, keeping it awake and alive and used.
A lot of it has to do with navigating the changes that your voice goes through as you get older. You make adjustments in the rep. If you feel repertoire, like you lose a step off the top, then maybe don't sing that. Maybe don't
sing things that are a little lower.
Maybe gain a step at the bottom.
And that's true. Yeah, it really does happen that way. And the nice part is, especially for lower voices, there are plenty of roles for as you get older. There are plenty of roles available. Fewer for the women,
that's right,
and fewer especially for the light-voiced women. So that gets to be a little bit of a puzzle for people. But the nice part is that with this art song, the kind of recital that we're presenting, that can be sung by any age at any time, and you get to kind of pick and choose and create your own show. It doesn't have to just exist as an opera where it's one character the entire show. Exactly. You get to shift around a little bit and tell your story. So that's the nice part.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know there's been a whole duet concert series, but maybe a little bit about the idea of the duet concert, and then maybe a little bit about the one that you have prepared for the audience tomorrow night.
Oh, the idea about the duet concert. This was something that Caroline and Leanne conceived, and I think they just thought it would be something that would be cool to do, and to bring in to bring in couples.
Yep.
What was the last one? David Portillo and Jenny Hauser, I think.
I believe.
And Peter Clark.
Peter Clark and Molly Mastonen.
That's right. Yeah. So it's whether they were a pair in life or in work. Molly and Peter were a pair in work, and there were other people like ourselves who happened to work together and to we're paired. We're a married couple.
Same last name. That's what that was.
It's just another way to showcase people who have sung shows here. And use different colors, sing different types of music. I mean,
And you said shows here too, which is interesting because I know that you saw Keith perform in Guys and Dolls. I actually sang with the old Charlottesville Opera.
Back when it was Ashlon?
Many years ago, exactly, right. And when it was Ashlon, I sang Guinevere in Camelot with Peter Clark.
Oh my goodness!
Which is pretty neat. Yeah, so full circle. But so our coming together for this recital was an idea that was proposed by Charlottesville Opera, but it's also something that we really enjoy doing, getting the chance to perform together. It's not often that we get hired to do a show together, and so just pairing our repertoire that we have learned on our own separate paths, and trying to find things that complement each other is kind of a great time.
Yeah, recitals are a totally different ball
I was
of
going to
wax.
ask you, how is it different than...
Well, it's terrifying. That's how it's different. It's terrifying. When you're in an opera or you're in a musical theater production, I mean, it's all musical theater. I hate to label like that. You get to put on a costume and get lost in a character. You've got staging. You can move. You're communicating with the other characters in the play. When it's a recital, it's just you. and I suppose you could go and bounce around, but that would create issues with ensemble with the pianist because there's no conductor. One of the things that makes the opera or the show work is that you have a conductor who's and in this it's just you're using your ear. So it's tougher. It's tougher to be bouncing around. So you're there. You can feel stuck. It's very vulnerable. It's if you're doing a solo recital, obviously it's just you for about an hour. Fortunately, we get to split the program up, and so.
So when you're singing a duet, because I mean, I would think that a solo recital, to a certain respect, is a little easier than a duet because it's just your ear telling you when to sing, but now you have 4 ears. And so how much practice do you need to make sure you both kind of start and end at the same time?
That's a really good question. What Keith was saying about the presentation of a show, you have weeks of rehearsals together, and even if they're strangers when you first start rehearsals, by the end you have all these habits built, with other people. But in these duet recitals, it's a little bit. I mean, we got here yesterday. Our first day was yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, we live together. We know each other,
right.
our first time with the pianist was yesterday. And it's amazing how, because we each have these maps of the music to work with, and we know the words, we come in with everything prepared, as long as everybody's kind of on the same page about the tempo, the time that we're going to stay in, it just is like magic, it just starts to work together. So then it becomes about how to create art and tell your story and do things, fun things with your voice to kind of make something interesting with the characters that we're creating. But yeah, there's some duets that we have that we he's singing to me and I have to react to it, and we haven't been rehearsing for weeks and weeks and weeks on that. So there's some live theater stuff.
And when you do have
happens.
someone on stage with you, that you kind of just the movement happens,
right?
And
Exactly.
I always prefer it when I can move, I can move around. Yeah,
and then have that interaction, that back and forth.
Just be more in your body, and
Absolutely. So what are some of the things some of the pieces that people can look forward to? So it's a combination of some songs that each of you will sing individually and some that you'll sing together, some full-on duets.
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to sing some gypsy songs, or Zigeunermelodien is the German word for it, by Dvorak. There will be a couple piano solos as well, featuring Jeremy Thompson. Yep. And then you'll sing some American contemporary art songs.
Yeah, I've got a couple of American art songs. Just really quick, what would differentiate an art song from a pop song would be the piano part is of equal importance to the vocal line. They kind of work together. So I'm doing an excerpt, actually, of a larger set by a composer named Herschel Garfien based on Donald Hall poetry. And then I'm doing a larger piece, it's about a 10, 12-minute piece by Stephen Mark Cohn, based on a newspaper article that he read, an old newspaper article. I'll cut to the sort of theme. We were asked to come up with a theme, and my songs center around, all songs center around love or loss or, desire in some way or another for hundreds of years. These songs focus on love, loss, desire for people who are aging, people who are in middle age and getting older. And so that's what these songs focus on. They're very poignant. The poetry is beautiful, and they're really fun to sing. I think people are going to really enjoy them.
That's amazing. That does sound exciting.
And then we've got some kind of lighter things on the second half of the show. Some Bernstein songs from his musicals "Wonderful Town" and "On the Town." We've got something from an art song collection called "Arias and Barcarolles," also by Bernstein. And then we've got some Gershwin.
And Rodgers and Hammerstein too. We're actually doing a medley from South Pacific.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Perfect to bring it full circle.
Yeah. And he just performed the role of Emile de Becque, too.
Again, recently.
Yeah. So I got a chance to have him sing Some Enchanted Evening to me.
Oh,
very nice.
There you go. Those are always great. I mean, that's the beauty, I think, of... I love, like, the Americana that maybe people haven't heard recently, right? If you haven't gone... Because especially, I mean, most of the music you're going to hear on the radio is pop, rock, right? Yeah. But to go back, like, there was a time when, like, the songs you listened to, it was Gershwin.
It was pop.
It was rock. That was the pop. And to have, and especially with Gershwin, the piano is so key.
Yeah, they had a piano or an orchestral arrangement.
That
was music people listened to for fun.
Yeah, and the poetry is so good. It's just, it's really, really wonderful. The stories, the little individual pieces are really very special. So.
And it sounds like you've definitely put together to weave it, to kind of tell a story.
Yeah.
In a sense, which I think people will really look forward to and enjoy.
Yeah, and it's a great space to sing into. We're over at just across the street here. First Pres, I think, is where.
First Presbyterian. Yes, that's a beautiful space. Dude, I've had the pleasure of having. What was it? It was like a quartet. Well, it wasn't really a quartet. It was like old music group that played there, and you get a nice feel for the space, and it's pretty large.
Yeah.
So that always helps to get a nice full house in there. So that's always beautiful. Any piece in particular that each of you is looking forward to? Unless were you about to jump in?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Any piece in particular that like, I'm excited for people maybe who haven't heard this before to hear it?
Let's see.
I'm going to go first.
Yes, you go first.
Got an answer.
Toughest question.
All of it. All of it. I'm really excited about all of it. Of course, I love singing South Pacific. What I really hope when you learn when you learn these pieces, you become connected to them. I think even the stuff you don't like, it's like part of our job to become invested, and so we become partial. And your wish, whenever you go into one of these things, is just I hope the audience loves this music as much as I do, and loves this text as much as I do, because a lot of where I come at this. I love text. I love communicating poetry, and this is some of the best poetry I have ever read. It has been set by these composers that we're featuring tonight. If you're going to be coming to the recital, I hope you can get into the poetry. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, no, it is. It
is
key.
There's nothing like that. Yeah,
to listen to the words sometimes it can be easy to forget to listen to the words, and it'll help that it's in English. Some of them, right?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah, because I think sometimes maybe even people who typically go to a lot of operas, you reach a point that if you're hearing mostly a German, Italian repertoire, you've trained your ear to listen to the music but not the words because you can't understand them. But the beauty of doing some in English is you should pay attention to the words. You can actually listen to them.
And that was, that was part of what prompted the creation of opera as a genre. It was to showcase the voice, but also it was so that people could understand the words because they were used to all of this polyphony, all of these choral pieces, and you wouldn't normally understand the words. But with opera, it's one line, and you're a person communicating text. So.
And there's some really fantastic, lots of the Bernstein is just kind of real people talking about real things that happen, and it's not necessarily flowery and perfect. It's more about the quirks of us and how we're different. We did a recital themed on love, but also there's plenty of love for self. Love for family in there as well. In some of the German, which is going to be in the German language when I sing it, it's talking about love for freedom and wanting to be with nature. Yep. And remembering the songs that my mother taught me, and doing that now and connecting with my mother in this way that I couldn't before. Now that I'm teaching my own children, there are different forms of love, which I think is great to be able to celebrate in one.
To express, more than just.
And that's a very good point, right? Because one of the things I truly remember, because my parents were Spanish, right? And sometimes they would listen to habaneras and other songs from South America, and the one thing that always caught my ear is that I would listen to the words, right? I mean, the music was always peppy and stuff, but I would listen to the words, and there was always a story. And sometimes it was a story of love, sometimes a story of sadness, whatever. But there was a story. So when you listen to a song, right, there's a story behind it. And the same thing, kind of with operas and things of that sort, right? Which is what I really like. I mean, even during rock and roll eras, every once in a while you had writers and singers that told a story, and then every once you had, where it's just they're yelling and screaming and there's no story, right? But that's what I really like about that, is because obviously when it's in your language and you can understand it, like Alex said, the music is part of the story, but in a sense, you're just, to me, at least this is personal, right? To me, the music is just there, but the words is what's really kind of hitting you, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, you go see an opera. I don't understand German, so all I want is then I just want the music. I want to hear that.
You can still pick up on certain
right, some things. Yeah. Italian's easier for me and stuff like that, but obviously, it's just when those words flow with the music, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be wonderful tomorrow.
And it's fun too, at least especially with the Arias and Barcarolles piece. We're doing Mr. and Mrs. Webb Say Goodnight. That was written. The words were written by Bernstein, and he wrote the music for it. So they're very, Usually you have a composer who will take a poem written by somebody else and do their impression of whatever that would be. But you really get the one person's thought about what those words are supposed to sound like.
Wow.
That is going to be impressive.
Yeah, that's special.
Yeah. That is a special thing.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Before we let you go, anything like as far as what's next, where people can follow you guys, and what's upcoming?
Yeah, we'll keep, so Facebook, my Facebook is Katie Pracht, or Katherine Pracht Phares. I guess I'm Katie.
It is Katherine Pracht Phares.
Thank you for helping me know who I am. And on Instagram, I'm Katie Pracht as well, just one word. So you can always follow us there.
Okay.
Follow me there. I'll post what's coming up. I'll be in Colorado this summer.
Oh, okay.
Doing a show. It hasn't been announced yet, so
that's a good time to be in Colorado.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be really nice. And then we're at BGSU as well as Bowling Green State University is where we teach. We are doing that now, so we want to do a shout out to BGSU. You can look for us there.
So you're teachers also.
Yeah, we're voice teachers.
That's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's good.
The next generation there.
Yeah.
How about you, Keith?
Facebook, Instagram. God, I forget how Facebook does the handle. It's like Keith _
Keith.Phares.1.
Nice. Keith.Phares.1.
I've got it. I found it.
Instagram is, I think, Keith Phares, one word.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I have a Keith Phares baritone page on Facebook. I'm Super Keith on Blue Sky. Got in early with the cool name. This summer, I have smaller things planned. I've got a recording project I'll be doing in May,
Nice.
and then in June I'm singing a concert up in Massachusetts, and taking it easy. It's been a year. I'm actually looking forward to having
Absolutely. Not blame you. Well, Keith, Katie, this has been an absolute
Wonderful.
pleasure.
Yes,
Thank you so much
absolutely.
for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
And as we make the switch here, I'll go ahead and put concert information. So Friday, March 7th. So that's tomorrow. Tomorrow
right,
night,
tomorrow night.
7 p.m. You can get tickets by going to charlottesvilleopera.org/duets. If you do that, charlottesvilleopera.org/duets, they're the first one. You scroll down a little bit, boom, you see Keith and Katie. You scroll down a little more, there's a nice big buy tickets blue box. So you click it and you can get tickets.
Easy.
So very easy.
Very easy.
charlottesvilleopera.org/duets. Scroll down, click buy tickets, and you can enjoy a beautiful concert tomorrow night.
Yes.
So it's
going to be wonderful.
it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a true joy. So we always appreciate Charles Pracht for coming on and get to meet some amazing people.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
Music
Vanessa
is lovely.
Parkhill watching the show this morning. Thanks so much, Vanessa, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Always love our fantastic Joseph Francavilla from New York.
Wow.
Tuning
Joe.
in this morning. Thank you, Joe, for tuning in. Always appreciate our viewers from all over the country. It doesn't matter
Absolutely,
where
yes.
you are. We are very glad to have you tuning in this morning. So it's always a joy. And now from one set of great guests to another. So we're super excited.
Talking about a faraway country. I mean, Venezuela, right?
Venezuela. So we get to. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll get some people from Venezuela tuning in.
We'll see
You
that.
never know. We've had Africa before once.
That's right,
So
exactly.
we can get Africa. Maybe one day we can get Venezuela. But we're super excited to welcome to the show this morning Pedro Chacon and Maria Morales from StreetDog, Virginia. Pedro and Maria, muchísimas gracias.
Buenos días.
Gracias, buenos días.
Buenos
Gracias por
días.
la invitación.
Oh, no, es un placer, siempre es un
Sin
placer.
duda.
Bueno, por los miembros de la audiencia que quizás no les conocen a ustedes, ¿cómo es que decidieron empezar StreetDog? ¿Qué es la historia?
Okay. Dimos inicio el año pasado, finalizando el mes de agosto, con el food truck. Vendemos hot dogs. Inicialmente queríamos que fuera al estilo venezolano.
Sí.
De hecho, teníamos solamente 2 tipos de perro calientes, como lo llamamos nosotros.
¿Oh, sí?
Perros calientes.
Y poco a poco los clientes han ido dándonos
Pistas.
pistas
Sí,
de cómo lo prefieren, y hemos ido adaptando el menú. Porque iniciamos con el de la casa, el house, como lo llamamos.
Sí.
Entonces, el cliente que lo prueba, repite, come nuevamente. Pero el que llega y revisa el menú,
Sí, no
play.
está.
Sí,
Entonces, ahí vamos.
Oh, lo prefieren sin nada que
lo
con
prefieren sin nada, sí, exactamente.
Y el perro caliente de casa, house, perro caliente, house hot dog, ¿qué es lo que tiene? ¿Qué es lo que está dentro? Naturalmente tiene que la salchicha, el hot dog, ¿no? Además de eso.
Ok, está compuesto por el pan,
Sí.
¿verdad? La salchicha, como normalmente lo conocemos. Le agregamos cebolla.
También. Muy
Lleva la coleslaw,
está bien.
que
Ok.
es el mix de repollo,
Zanahoria.
tiene zanahoria. Le agregamos cebolla, unas papitas pequeñitas que venden acá que se llama potato strip.
Oh, ok.
Ajá, las salsas tradicionales. Y adicional a eso, el topping es queso cheddar,
Sí.
que lo rayo al instante, es decir, va y la persona que está esperando lo ve. Y entonces ahí es cuando wow, se sorprende. Entonces, claro, cuando lo tiene en la mano, o sea, es diferente a lo que están acostumbrados
Claro,
acá.
claro. Sí, sí.
¿Sabe? Entonces, como María Gabriela lo dice, pues, o sea, hay personas que van por uno solo y de repente quiero el otro. Sí, quiero el otro. Entonces, hemos ido adaptando un poco el tema de porque no estaba en el menú. Por decirte algo, la persona lo pedía plain, entonces tomaba las salsitas pequeñas, se lo colocaba. Entonces, bueno, había personas que nos pedían solamente con cebolla, que la cebolla cortadita, ¿no? Entonces, nos fuimos dando cuenta, no, esto hay que agregarlo al menú, porque entonces, sí, no sabíamos ni siquiera cómo hacer el cobro, cómo porque no existía. Lo cierto es que para este año, pues tenemos ya variedad en el menú, y está esa.
Entonces ahora puedes escoger diferentes 8 tipos de perro caliente.
Sí,
Mamma
para
mía.
darle espacio y al cliente pues a que pueda escoger. Por ahí está uno que lo tenemos todavía preparando, cocinando, que nos han pedido, es el vegano. No lo tenemos todavía.
¿Y eso?
Hay un tipo de salchicha a base de plantas.
Sí.
Sí,
Sí,
está bien.
y bueno, estamos viendo cómo lo adaptamos.
Sí, en base a los ingredientes que teníamos del house, es que hemos ido adaptando los demás. Por lo menos está el onion, porque las personas lo piden solo con cebolla y mostaza.
Cebolla y mostaza. Muy lo piden.
Lo piden, sí.
Entonces,
Es casi tradicional.
Es tradicional, exacto.
Cuando miraban el menú y miran los ingredientes, me decían que no lo querían house, que si solo le podía poner la cebolla y la mostaza.
O dame el house solo
Un
con
perro
cebolla.
sin casa, sí.
Sí, y era chistoso porque dame el house, pero solo con ketchup y mostaza. Entonces uno se queda.
Sí.
Y por lo menos para nosotros, parte de nuestro perro venezolano es que lleva las 3 salsas: ketchup, mayonesa y mostaza. En cambio aquí usualmente es mostaza y salsa o solo mostaza. Es muy rara la persona que me dice lo quiero con ketchup y mostaza o con las 3 salsas. Hay personas que sí se atreven y apenas revisan el menú van probando, pero usualmente no es así aquí.
Bueno, yo, en fin, la idea cuando uno va a un lugar que tienen algo diferente, la idea es de probarlo, ¿no? Naturalmente. Ahora, naturalmente, dice StreetDog, supongo que los americanos dicen, mira, un perro caliente y es lo que quiero, ¿no? Pero, en fin, si es un perro caliente que lleva cosas diferentes, lo importante es, déjame probarlo a ver cómo es, ¿no? No puede ser que lo pruebes y dices, me gusta el perro caliente solamente con la mostaza y un poquito de cebolla, bien, pero la idea es probarlo, ¿no? I was going to say, we may want to just translate a little bit as to what we've discussed.
A little bit.
You want me to do it? Or?
I mean, the key thing, the key thing is the really special thing is the house.
The house hot dog, yes.
So you've got your basic hot dog, you've got the
onions.
You got the onions.
Coleslaw. There's carrots, stripped carrots, cheddar cheese, and then 3 kinds of the key
thing is the mix of salsa. Because you've got your purist hot dog people that only put mustard.
Right.
You've got your semi-purist hot dog people that put mustard and ketchup. But the beauty here is in Venezuela, the mix is ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise.
Yes.
Mayo, which is the real.
And I assume they probably do you mix it or no? Uno separados también.
Sí.
Your
ketchup,
1,
2 y 3.
Mustard,
sí.
Mayo, which is the real. That's the different part from the sauce perspective.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it sounds like they go there.
They want the hot dog without the house.
Yeah, they want the hot dog without the house.
Can I just have mustard and onions or whatever?
But
then, so from there,
you got people who they go there wanting the regular, but then they see the house and they're like,
yeah. And from there, so I mean, they started with the house, right? But now they got 7 others. So they got 8 types of hot dogs because people would come and say, no, I want it with this, no, I want it with that, I only want this. So basically, I mean, listen, if they 8 types of hot dogs,
somebody's got to be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be pretty happy because I mean, after that, I don't know what else you can put in a hot dog, right? So,
exactly.
No está diciendo, si tenéis ya 8 estilos de perro caliente, ya casi han llegado a punto de no sé qué clase de diferencia podéis tener para un perro caliente, ¿no?
Siento que, y lo hemos visto así, es como muy versátil trabajar con el tema del hot dog, del perro caliente. Yo diría que admite cualquier otro ingrediente que la persona le guste, ¿sabes? Sí, nos llamaba mucho la atención cuando las personas pedían solamente con cebolla y yo le digo un día a Gaby, vamos a probarlo con cebolla. Pero nosotros no. Es decir, es lo que tiene especial. Ey, es bueno.
¿Es bueno?
Sí, es bueno.
Bueno, en
Pero,
fin.
O sea, es cuestión de gusto.
En fin, si le gusta la salchicha, el hot dog, ¿no?
Sí.
El resto es solamente para vestirlo un poquito. Es el gusto de la salchicha es lo que, si a uno le gusta, es lo más importante, naturalmente, ¿no? Y el resto es para ayudar o cambiar el gusto un poquito, ¿no? Pues, como dice usted, si quizás alguien dice, mira, solamente quiero un jalapeño adentro y con el perro y vamos a ver qué llega, ¿no?
Bueno, de hecho tenemos en el menú, dentro del menú está que ese se hizo pensando, precisamente hay nativos acá que les fascina el picante y el tema del jalapeño, pero en Venezuela no lo comemos con jalapeño. De hecho, eso no se consigue. Sí,
¿No se consigue jalapeño?
No creo, bueno, no sé, yo no recuerdo haber...
Bueno, ¿hoy día o antes?
No. Se llama ají dulce, que es como un pimentón pequeño.
Sí.
Y es picante.
Sí.
Pero así
Yo lo
como
conozco,
el jalapeño de aquí, no...
está bien.
No sabe igual.
No.
Eso es
El gusto es
diferente de un jalapeño.
Well, it's a different pepper. It's a different pepper.
Simplemente no lo hay.
Sí.
No, es que yo creo que no se consigue. A lo mejor en tiendas, o como dice usted, se conseguía. No sé ahora.
¿Cuánto tiempo hace que ustedes están aquí?
Mira,
Hoy estamos cumpliendo 5 años de haber
5
llegado.
años.
ha sido mágico el tema del mes de marzo para nosotros durante estos 5 años. Porque todos los marzos como que nos ocurre algo, ¿no?
Claro,
pasa algo. Y esto no deja de ser especial. Estar acá el día de hoy.
Y empezaron el camión en agosto, me dijo.
En agosto.
Sí.
In August. So in August is when they started. They've been here for 5 years. They started in August with their own food truck. You know?
Sí. Y acá en Estados Unidos, en Charlottesville, sí, desde hace 5 años. Hoy.
Hoy 5
Un día como
años de...
hoy.
un día como hoy.
¡Felicidades! Un aniversario.
Sí. Un día como hoy llegamos
Pueden
a
comer un
Estados
hot dog hoy.
Estamos pendientes.
Iba a preguntar, el camión, ¿dónde se encuentra el camión? ¿Depende al día o cada día es el mismo lugar?
Ok, fíjense lo siguiente, ¿qué ocurre? Nosotros empezamos exactamente, nuestro debut fue el 31 de agosto del año pasado, es decir, que tenemos breve tiempo en funcionamiento, ¿verdad? Y lo que hemos hecho es, hemos estado en varios sitios acá en Charlottesville, como puedo decir, King Family, lugares de acá, viñedos. Y ha sido eso, nuestra participación ha sido eso. No tenemos un lugar fijo, hemos buscado un poco, pero ha sido un poquito complicado ese tema, pero ahí continuamos con eso. Y este año es igual, tenemos fechas ya pautadas, pero para sitios donde ya tienen eventos. En la actualidad estamos en la construcción de una página, de un sitio web, no lo tenemos todavía, precisamente para que la persona que esté interesada pues nos pueda ubicar por vía internet y ver dónde estamos y todo eso. Sí.
Entonces,
los días viernes sí estamos en la avenida Preston en una cervecería.
Superfly.
Ya la persona nos contactó y los días viernes, si el clima nos los permite, estaremos allí todas las tardes.
Perfecto, eso está muy bien, muy bien.
Los viernes.
Y naturalmente, bueno, ustedes trabajan mucho más, supongo, los sábados y domingos.
Hay más demanda, sí. Hay más demanda ese día, el fin de semana.
Sí.
Próximamente comienza el mercado en Fluana. Ya nos contactaron y estamos esperando que domingos nos van a asignar para estar con ellos.
Está bien. Y creo eso es muy bueno, porque aquí también hay el market aquí, que es el sábado, ¿no?
Hay el Farmers Market. Bueno, en Fluana, en los domingos. Hay el Farmers Market.
Digo, el Farmers Market es muy bueno porque mucha gente va para comer y beber, debes de comprar cosas de la finca,
de verduras,
¿no? Pero sería bueno también.
Sí.
Muy bien.
Y es todos los domingos de las 11 a las 2.
Sí.
Entonces hay mucho tiempo. Y para las personas, fíjate, está cerca de Lake Monticello, entonces las personas que viven allí No es un
No es
distancia
muy
muy larga.
Ya hemos estado allí, el año pasado estuvimos allí varios fines de semana y fueron nuestras primeras experiencias y de verdad que fue bastante agradable. Bueno, para nosotros y para el cliente, los que iban, recuerdo que en una oportunidad fuimos y se me dañó el generador eléctrico y llegaron 2 personas, no iban al mercado, sino que iban era a comerse su perrito caliente, sí, y no pude venderle, porque no pude encender la planta, se me dañó. Y entonces, ya vengo, me recuerdo la señora salió del mercado, regresó como a los 20 minutos sería, y bueno, lamentablemente ese día no fue. Y llegó después un señor con un niño, el niño quería el perro caliente, no se lo pude vender. ¿Sabe? Entonces es también ese vínculo que pueda generarse entre ese plato tan típico, cultural acá en Estados Unidos, pues, y bueno. Sí.
¿Y quién era el que tuvo la idea de empezar esta empresa, StreetDog?
Fíjense lo siguiente, en realidad pues nosotros teníamos la inquietud de hacer algo diferente para no en el espacio culinario, ¿no? Y a pesar de que se pueda considerar como algo muy básico, muy sencillo, no lo es. Cuando ya uno está ahí, pues se da cuenta que es un trabajo tras bastidores un poquito más delicado, más fuerte. En realidad, pues nosotros teníamos la idea de iniciar con churros, no sé si los conocen.
Sí,
okay.
Claro que sí.
Compramos todo lo que eran saber para los churros, se presentaron algunos inconvenientes, no hubo quórum en algunos aspectos y los dejamos como enfriar, ¿no? De repente, bueno, tenemos que continuar y surgió la idea de los hot dogs, como ya lo dije, pues algo cultural muy propio de acá, pero dándole ese toque venezolano, ¿verdad? Fue que tomamos la decisión pues de iniciar, como les digo, pues hacer ese vínculo, esa conexión entre algo que te lo pudieses conseguir en la esquina, mira, voy a comer un perrito, ¿no? Y bueno, de ahí nace la idea de poder ofrecerles a la comunidad pues lo que es un perro caliente.
¿Y quién pensó del nombre? StreetDog. Es un gran nombre en realidad. Porque, en fin, el gran nombre porque sí, en fin, están vendiendo algo que sin duda a los americanos les gusta, ¿no? Que es el perro caliente, ¿no? Sí. Y el StreetDog es un nombre que enseguida te dice qué es lo que es, ¿no? Y ustedes son venezolanos, así que...
Bueno, fíjense lo siguiente, cuando se empezó a buscar o a crear el nombre, ¿verdad? Como todo, pues, ¿qué le ponemos? ¿Cómo hacemos, no? Y en Venezuela hay algo que se llama las calles del hambre, no sé si conocen de eso o han escuchado, es la calle del hambre, ¿verdad? Y por lo general, pues, las personas allá le dicen, voy a comer un asquerosito. Le dicen así, un asquerosito. Algo nuevo, ¿no? Para ustedes.
Sí,
tal vez sí. Entonces, callejera, pero es algo de la calle, ¿no? Sí, donde tú de repente podías salir de tomarte un trago y ¿dónde ibas? A comerte un perro caliente. Sí. Hasta cierta hora de la noche. Entonces, este nombre de perro callejero probablemente venga de ahí, ¿no? De que está en la calle, lo puedes conseguir de manera fácil, es rápido para tú ordenarlo y pedirlo, ¿verdad? De allí viene el nombre.
Qué bien, qué bien.
Sí, de la calle.
Sí, de
la calle. Lo consigo en la calle.
Sí, eso mismo. Así, y así es. Tal cual, es igual que casi en Europa. Siempre hay personas que están vendiendo cosas en la calle, que es delicioso, ¿no? Y entonces en Venezuela tenéis el perro caliente.
Sí, claro.
Que es común.
Sí, es común. Muy común. Y es algo económico. En la actualidad, pues he visto que por lo menos en Caracas, que es la capital, pues sí los venden totalmente diferentes, les colocan demasiados ingredientes que, bueno, nunca llegué a probar eso. Siempre fui como preferí el perro caliente más sencillo, similar al que nosotros vendemos. Sí. Creo que la única diferencia de allá es que le colocan un queso que se llama queso de año. No sé si...
¿Queso de año?
Sí, es queso de año, es diferente, es blanco y es como un polvo. Es muy fino.
Como una textura harinosa.
Está bien.
Algo así.
Está bien.
Y de un sabor muy fuerte.
Oh, sí.
Sí.
Maybe like a Parmesan cheese, maybe.
Ajá.
O tacho trabajo, yeah.
Yeah.
Sí, entiendo.
Yeah.
Oh, ese parece
Todo es
delicioso.
bueno, sí.
Todo parece delicioso.
Si te gusta el perro caliente, todo. Eso es bueno.
Pero no te quieres colocar, es bueno.
Sí,
Eso es lo
sí.
fantástico, porque en realidad es una comida que se puede comer fácilmente a cualquier hora y naturalmente a la hora de almuerzo pides un perro caliente con una Coca-Cola o lo que sea, un jugo, lo que sea, y te lo comes fácilmente, ¿no? Y segundo, la preparación para un perro caliente no es una gran cosa en cierto sentido, ¿no? Porque hay ciertas cosas que para prepararlas hay mucho trabajo y después tienes que venderla en la calle, que es más difícil, ¿no? Pero esto supongo que es un poco más fácil y en fin, es una cosa como si alguien dice, no, yo no quiero eso. Muy bien, no es una cosa que ya viene con eso, no puedo quitar, ¿no?
Yeah.
Entonces, pues muy bien, aquí está tu perro sin
Y no es
caso,
necesario preparar otro
Eso mismo.
perro caliente.
Eso
No, yo no la tengo normal. you
Las
know.
primeras veces que
Dámelo
nos pedían
play.
un perro plain, yo me quedaba así. Ketchup, no plain. Y yo, Pedro, uno plain. Le pongo salsa, no plain.
Sí.
Sin nada, sin
nada.
Pan y
sin
salchicha.
tomate,
y así,
sin mostaza,
nada.
nada. Solamente.
Absolutamente nada.
Se necesita algo, ¿no? Normalmente.
Y de hecho lo colocamos en el menú.
Sí, entonces esa opción
Perro
tuvimos que
plain.
dejarla. Sí, claro. Tuvimos que dejarlo en el menú actualmente porque para primero evitar confusión.
Claro.
Si no, un plain, da. Un plain.
Está bien, pues.
El regular, ¿qué es lo que tiene? Bueno, las 3 salsas.
¿Y en español qué lo dice? ¿Perro desnudo? ¿Cómo se dice?
No, pues si estuviéramos en Venezuela de repente diríamos, solamente la salchicha. Solo la salchicha.
Sí, claro. Sí.
Sí, pero la palabra plain no hay espacio para eso.
Sí. Muy bien.
Now, la receta por The House, el House Hot Dog, ¿es una receta de su familia en particular o hay versiones de House Hot Dog en Venezuela?
Es lo que estaba comentando. En Venezuela es similar a lo que nosotros estamos haciendo acá. La diferencia es que no le rayan el queso, o sea, el tradicional no lleva el queso rallado, sino que lleva el queso de año. Esa es la única diferencia.
Entonces la
Pero
versión
es
de House es
usual.
particular a su familia, su receta.
No, como la comunidad, ¿sabes?
Oh, sí.
Allá
Okay.
ese es el hot dog clásico.
Sí.
Como para las personas de aquí puede ser el cebolla y mostaza o pepinillos, para nosotros es el house. O sea,
okay.
Sí.
allá en
Okay.
cualquier puesto de la
Sí,
calle te lo van a servir de esa manera.
Ajá, exacto.
Pan, salchicha, las papitas, que es el potato stick, las 3 salsas, el repollo.
Oh, okay, sí.
Y la gran diferencia es que es el queso.
El queso.
O sea, en Venezuela no lo vas a conseguir con el queso que nosotros le colocamos acá.
Sí.
Es lo único.
La única diferencia es
Sí.
el queso.
Oh, okay.
Entonces,
Y ahí el house.
¿tenéis ese perro caliente sin el queso? ¿Con todo sin el queso?
Si usted lo quiere sin queso, se lo vendemos.
Porque si ese es tradicional, hay que probarlo tradicional. Sí. O hay que buscar el queso de polvo.
Sí.
Sí, hay personas que quieren el house y no le pongas queso.
Sí.
O,
Sí, hay personas-
o quieren permanecer que tenga el repollo.
Hay personas que parten del house y en realidad, pues, mira, dame el house, pero no sé, no me le coloques cebolla o no me le coloques la coleslaw, entonces va.
Usualmente quitan la mayonesa. No,
Sí,
aquí
pocos
no
comen.
son de comer mayonesa.
No, sí.
Entonces, sí.
Interesante. Y otra pregunta, en Venezuela, supongo que lo hay, pero ¿qué clase de otras salchichas hay que también son, vamos a decir, cosas que se comen en la calle, vamos a decir? ¿Hay cualquier otra clase de salchicha como de how do you say pig? ¿De
puerco?
De puerco.
Sí, se
De
consiguen.
puerco, de pollo, carne.
Venden el que llaman la polaca, salchicha polaca.
Sí.
Hola, sí, sí.
Ah,
Que
Frankfurt.
hay una que viene...
Polish salsa.
Ajá, exacto.
Sí.
Que,
La salchicha
que, es
Frankfurt.
que es picante, ese es picante, y hay una que es blanca, una polaca blanca, no tengo ahorita el nombre, no conozco.
Oh, blanca, quizás es un tipo de Alemania.
Sí,
Alemán,
ajá, sí, exacto. Pero sí los
Bratwurst
venden.
or Bratwurst?
O
No
vice
sé.
versa.
Bratwurst? Yeah, that's
Dice, pero blanco, en español blanco.
a tough one to say.
Yeah. Claro.
Sí, sí se consiguen, pero igual no es el perro que comúnmente usted va a conseguir en la calle, sino en sitios ya diferentes, un restaurante.
¿Tenéis chorizo?
No.
Ay. No hay chorizo.
No hay chorizo.
Pero chorizo es difícil. Yo no podría comer, por eso, un perro caliente me lo puedo comer, pero un perro que sea
el problema
chorizo.
con chorizo sería imposible
sería
poner
un
las
chorizo.
salsas.
Porque el chorizo es tan fuerte, sí.
Bueno,
Sí,
fíjate
por eso.
que tenemos uno para este año, se introdujo en este menú, se llama el barbecue bacon, barbecue, ajá, es con una salchicha diferente,
Sí.
que está en el mercado, sí queda, o sea, es decir, usted lo ve y uno queda así como que, porque es muy grande la salchicha, de hecho en el menú se le colocó como big,
O como un hot dog grande.
como grande,
Yeah,
ajá,
sí.
y lo que lleva es el relish, que es el pepinillo,
Sí.
Oh,
cebolla,
sí.
bacon y una salsa barbecue. Muy bueno. Es muy bueno, de verdad que sí.
Puede ser delicioso también.
Sí es bueno.
Sí.
Porque
Bueno,
tiene unos sabores muy fuertes, ¿sabes? El tema de la
Sí.
salchicha, que no es la que comúnmente usamos, con el bacon y la salsa, de verdad que es delicioso.
Sí.
Me imagino bacon.
Sí.
Sí. Bacon.
Es difícil que
Sí,
hagas
es difícil.
Apuesto el bacon.
Sí. Bacon siempre es una buena idea.
¿Y cómo se dice bacon en español?
Nosotros le decimos tocineta.
Muy bien. Lo que yo también.
¿Cuál es
Sí.
la palabra?
Tocinera.
Tocinera. Sí, ahora yo tengo.
¿Ustedes cómo le dicen?
Sí, igual. Sí.
¿Tocineta?
Sí,
Igual
sí.
en Cuba. Sí. Ok, entonces oficialmente
Los
tocinera.
cubanos también más o menos hablan
Sí,
español,
bueno,
¿no?
Era perro caliente.
Perro caliente.
Sí, era la verdad. Bueno, Pedro, María, ha sido un gran placer. Muchísimas gracias. Antes de venir, ¿dónde se pueden encontrar ustedes en términos de en línea para ver dónde está el food truck?
A través del Facebook o del Instagram, las redes sociales, StreetDog, nos pueden
Punto BA.
ubicar. Normalmente, a partir de ahora que tengamos más eventos entre
Lo
la
vamos a ir
semana, se publicarán los días y las horas en que estaremos.
Muy bien.
Por ahora, como les dije anteriormente, los viernes a partir de las 4 de la tarde en la avenida Preston estaremos fijos y trabajando en base a de que sean más días.
Claro que sí. So for
Fridays.
Fridays, you're always going to find them Fridays on Preston
Avenue.
On
Yeah.
Preston Avenues. in the
At the
afternoon.
beer, ¿cómo se llama el lugar del
Superfly.
Superfly
Superfly.
Brewing.
Okay, so you'll
Superfly.
always find them near there on Preston
Right.
every Friday.
Every Friday.
And then other days, you check Instagram, where you can go to Instagram. It's streetdog.va.
Okay.
Streetdog.va, so like Virginia.
Right.
And that's where you can find
Where they're going to
publications
be.
on, where are we going to be on the weekend,
Right.
other days, etc.
Yeah.
So, but every Friday in the afternoon, Preston.
And if you like hot dogs, you got to go because I mean, you can go all week and have a different hot dogs because they now have
There's
8
8.
different hot dogs.
There's 8
but then you
different
got to go the
ones.
following week at least one day.
Exactly.
So,
And so, yeah, you got a whole week plus one day.
That's
worth of
right,
hot
yeah.
dogs.
So-
and I mean, there's a new one, bacon barbecue hot dog, which
Yeah.
sounds really good. It sounds like a supersized. For Americans, like supersized. When we say grande, we're meaning
Grande.
like big.
that's the kind Alex likes.
That's
Super
also
size.
always, a more hot dog is always a good thing. More. Bueno, muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Sí,
No,
sí,
gracias a
un
ustedes.
placer.
Excelente. Gracias por habernos invitado. Me fascina el espacio. De verdad que sí. Como están trabajando acá y estamos a la hora.
Sí.
Muy bien. Me alegro.
Hasta luego.
Gracias.
Muchísimas
Felicidades con su truck,
Sí,
Gracias.
felicidades.
camión.
Gracias.
Bueno, as we
Well-
rotate, here we are at the end of the show. It's been a good
Absolutely.
one. Always enjoyable.
Yeah, this was, we haven't had one of these shows in a long time. We're actually back to back.
It's
and
nice to
it's
have
been,
a nice full house.
Yeah, and
Full
it's nice to
house.
be able to speak Spanish too once in a while, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was good. It was,
Helps me learn new words, like how to say hot dog in Spanish.
Absolutely.
So there we go. Now I know. Now I've learned.
and we learned
Listen
some
to-
words, but I can't remember either because they told me to remember a few words in where they do in Venezuela, but I can't
Yep.
remember them anymore. But
We've got.
no, it's what's nice. It's like think about Charlottesville, right? There are so many different people
Yes,
here and so
always.
many different nationalities. I mean, just to think, we just met 2 people from Venezuela, right? And, you know, they came to this country 5 years ago. They wanted to do something on their own, and they found, right, to
They
be
found
able to
something
do
amazing.
something,
Yeah.
which is a food truck, right? Which is something that everybody likes.
Yep.
They put a twist, which is a Venezuelan twist to it, and here we are.
Something
you know?
amazing. Yeah.
It is amazing.
It really is. It's really enjoyable, but always appreciate it. And
Yeah.
it's just great
Yeah.
to have people like that on. So be sure to check them out. So again, Instagram.com/streetdog.va, and you can find them there. Be sure to check out tomorrow night's concert.
Absolutely.
Then CharlottesvilleOpera.org/duets. And it begins 7 p.m. tomorrow night, so you can still get tickets.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time. You got plenty
Friday
of time.
night, good day to spend the Friday night.
Exactly. Hey, you go get a hot dog beforehand in the
right.
afternoon, then go
After
down.
we get a hot dog to go
There
to
you
the concert.
So be sure to check that out. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Dr. Elizabeth Urpí tuned in, so appreciate
wonderful.
that. Always love that particular viewer. And so thanks everyone. I really appreciate Carolina Diego, Vanessa Parkle, Keith Smith. Thanks everyone for tuning in this morning. Appreciate all our viewers. We look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks.
Yep.
But until then, thanks to I Love CVille Network for having us on here. Always love being here on the set. Thanks to Judah behind the camera, making us all look good. Thanks to Emergent Financial Services, Charlottesville Opera, Matthias Realty, Forward Adelante. Thanks, Pops, for being on with me.
It's been fun.
Thank you all for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time. But until that time comes, as always, as we like to close it out, hasta mañana.